the first college football playoff rankings were released. I am absolutely jacked. And listen, if you're one of the people who you don't necessarily like the change in college football, I think this season has been epic if you've really paid attention to it. And I really believe we're at the precipice of a renaissance of the collegiate game. The 12-team playoff gives more hopes for more fan bases. I spent all Saturday in the garage with some friends from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. watching ball all day, drinking beer. And honestly, one of my friends turned to me at the end of the day and he's like, I think it's got me back into college football. I'm hooked, man. And looking at this playoff bracket, we'll pull it up here for you. It is sweet. I mean, again, we're far away. This is the first edition of it. A lot's going to change just in the next week, but not only do we have playoff games at places iconic like Happy Valley, Columbus, Austin, Athens, Eugene, but Provo, Utah, I know those sons of bitches Mormons, they're going to get up, guys. I know they're going to get up for that one if that were to come to fruition. And give it another week, and maybe we see a place like Bloomington, Indiana host a college football playoff game. So I'm jazzed. I'm pumped up. How do you guys feel about this, looking at the college football projected playoff bracket round one?
I like it. I am such a fan of going to the 12-team system. This is the way it should be. That anyone who's like all hung up, they're like, "Oh, it should have been for that." Bro, go touch grass or something. Like, we don't need your comment here. This is the way it should be. Look at how exciting this is. Look how many more teams get to be involved in this. You got teams like Boise State, BYU, Indiana, like teams that are really overperforming this year. But you know what? They're winning games and they should be
Mm-hmm.
rewarded with a chance. Just because their name isn't as sexy as Ohio State or Texas doesn't mean that they should not be getting represented in the college football playoff. This is what football and sport is all about. It's competition and proving that you belong in the championship conversation. And you're going to tell me that the committee would have kept Michael Myers himself out of the college football playoff in that Boise State beast running back? No, stop it. He 1000% should be in the playoff. If that team can run the table, they should be ranked higher.
Yeah, I like what we've been seeing out of this new college landscape. The new conferences, Eric. It's weird sometimes seeing some of these former Pac-12 teams play in the Big Ten, and they're getting their ass kicked a little bit as well. If you're a fan of someone like Washington or not Oregon, Oregon's been kicking everyone's ass, but besides them, like I feel like we have seen Washington struggle a little bit with it. But still, what's your thoughts on the college football playoff bracket?
Yeah, I think I'm pretty close to Steve's point of view here, right? It's nice to see them finally getting it right. The idea of a misstep in September being essentially the end of your postseason hopes as a college football fan was always kind of watered down. And while people will say that it kind of takes the importance out of every game, that is absolutely not the case, right? Every single one of these 12 teams and the couple that are on the outside looking in, all of their games down the stretch run are immensely important as they try to make their way into the dance. And at least looking at how this bracket is shaping out right now, poor Miami. Could you imagine having a first round bye and having to play the winner of Texas, Alabama as
Yeah.
your reward? Sheesh.
Yeah, and even like more interesting, like Indiana, Tennessee. That is a crazy. I mean, that is such a fun game. There, two great defenses. You have a young emerging quarterback in Curtis Rourke coming out of the MAC. Maybe in the Heisman conversation,
I have a
25-1.
question.
Yeah.
Would you guys reseed Miami to the 2 and Georgia to the 3, considering Miami is undefeated, and then make the SEC kind of earn their way to that semifinal spot by going through each other, rather than what appears to be another kind of like shady looking, like, yeah, we'll have the SEC almost no matter what get represented?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Georgia's absolutely getting a pass here, playing the winner of Notre Dame, Penn State.
And honestly, I was riding out a Georgia alternate line 13.5 on Saturday, and it covered, and it was the most backdoor fucking cover I've ever seen in my life, I felt like. And Florida's quarterback got hurt, or Georgia might have lost that game outright. So Georgia's not like
Like, you
with
know what
that.
I mean, though? Like, it looks.
If anyone should be number two, I mean,
I think it should be Miami.
Yeah, I mean, but dude, Miami's gotten fucking bailed out too. They've got really bailed out
But they're
against
undefeated. At the end of the day, they are undefeated.
They got bailed out against Virginia Tech by, I mean, Charlotte called into that game and changed the outcome of that one, it felt like. So I don't know. We'll see in a couple weeks. Georgia, they still have a couple big ones on the slate. Miami, they got to get through the rest of the ACC. They're probably will face SMU in that title game or Clemson. So, you know, I want to see more from Miami. They haven't faced too many great teams yet. So, but Steve, I think it's a great conversation to have. And I think, yeah, like as much as I love Penn State, I think getting Penn State in the second round is a much better deal than getting Texas potentially in the second round.